This is Kalyan. Today I am going to teach you how to implement KNN algorithm in Java programming. Okay, first of all, we should learn what is KNN. KNN is nothing but K nearest neighbors. First suppose I am having a file called kaju.csv which is having a list of fruit items. These all fruit items is having weight, color and label. If I want to fix some fruit item name like 345 as a weight and 6 as a color, but I can't able to find out the label for this fruit item. If I want to find the label of this fruit item, I am going to use KNN algorithm. How it works means I am going to calculate the distance from this point to each and every point in the list. Once the distance is calculated, I am going to sort the distance. So after the distance is sorted, I am going to get like 3 to 4 points which is very close to the new point. If those points are having a label apple, then I am going to place this new point label as apple. If those 3 points label is banana, I am going to place this new points label as banana. So we better understand by doing it in Java. I am going to start the program. Uh, in this I am going to implement a class named fruits1 which is implementing some comparable. I will discuss it a bit later. And this fruits1 class is having 4 fields: weight, color, label and distance from sample. Private int. So I'm taking int and string as a data type for the first 3 fields. Why? Because if I am going to read this college.csv file, I'm having each and every item in the format integer and string. So to match this data types, I'm taking int and string. And this fourth field, distance from sample, uh, I'm taking it because if I'm going to calculate the distance from the new point to each and every point in the list, I need to store these distance values for each and every object. For that sake, I'm going to take this field as distance from sample. Now, after these fields are declared, I am going to implement the constructors, what I am going to use in the main method for creating this object. So I am implementing 3 field constructor, and I think 4 fields constructor is no need. So I am implementing 3 field constructor and 2 field constructor and default constructor. And after these constructors are implemented, I am also implementing the get and set methods for all the 4 fields. Once I am done with that, I am also implementing one calculate distance method which is having some implementation. I will discuss a bit later. So once I'm done with that, I am also implementing toString method. So what is the use of this thing is, if I'm going to print any object of this fruits1 class in the other class which is having main method, so then it is internally linked to this like toString method and going to print whatever it is returning. So it is returning all the field values of that object. So it is going to print as it is. Finally, I am implementing one compare to method which I will discuss a bit later. Now we will move on to the fruits classify class which is having main method. This class is having a main method and it is throwing exception called throwable, which is a checked exception. Why? Because in this method I am going to read a file named kaju.csv. If I can't able to find the file, it should throw exception. So for reading this file, I am using this buffer reader. Why? Because buffer reader is used to read the file line by line. For doing that, I am using string line, empty string, and also I have created a list li with generics fruits1. Next, I am working with while loop. This loop is reading line by line, and once the line is read, each line is going to split up by comma. You can clearly observe in this file each and every line is having the value separated by comma. So that's why I am going to split the line with the help of comma, and each and every value is a string value. Why? Because buffer reader will read line in a string format, so each value is a string value and those values are stored in a string array. So now if I want to access the values of this, I can access k of 0, k of 1, k of 2. K of 0 is nothing but weight, k of 1 is nothing but color, k of 2 is label. So why I am doing this? Because in the next line I am going to implement the object. I am going to construct a new object for the fruits1 class. So this object is having three fields: weight, color and label. Weight and color are of integer type, but in this case, like in this array, string array, I'm having in a string format, so I'm converting it to string to array, string to integer. So integer dot parseInt, I'm using this method for that conversion, and this is also same way I'm converting it into integer. So once these are like converted, so this object is formed. Once the object is created, I am going to add into the list called li, which I have created in advance. This while loop is going to read in each and every line, and the line which is read is separated. I'm going to split the line with the help of comma, and I'm putting all the values into the string array, and I'm going to create an object. Once the object is created, I'm going to add into the list. So this while loop will terminate if there is no line left to read in the file. So once I'm done with this while loop, I am also constructing one object with only two fields, weight and color. But this object doesn't have any label. So here this KNN plays a major role for finding the label of this new point. So this is the object f1. Okay, and I'm going to deal with now KNN. How I'm going to do that is, I'm going to create a list SA, and this SA is having one value, what is like fruits1 dot calculate distance li comma f1. This calc distance is a method which I have implemented in the fruits1 class, and I am calling this method with the help of fruits1 is a class name. Why? Because this method is a static method, and it is having two parameters. One is li, which is nothing but the list which is having all the objects, and f1 is the new object. It's a new object with only two fields. One is weight and other is color. Okay, so like when I'm calling this function, we will look into the implementation, how it's going to work and what is going to take. It is going to take one list and also one new object. Okay, I'm going to take this, and we'll enter in this method. In this method, I'm going to start with for each loop. We better know that for each loop works in a way like each and every fruits1 object f in the list fl. So each and every object in fl is passed into it and calculate that object's weight minus like ts dot weight comma 2, which is nothing but here I am going to calculate the distance between each and every point in the list to the new object, and whatever distance I got, I am setting that distance into the field, like the fourth field in the object. So this process continues till each and every object is done in the FL list. We better know that square the distance formula is square root of x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square. So I am taking here for squaring it up x minus x1 whole square. So I am using math.pow, and also for y1 minus y1 again I am doing the same procedure. Finally I am applying square root for this. And finally whatever distance I got for each and every object, I'm setting the distance to that object with the help of set distance from sample method. So what I'm doing in this for each loop, like each and every object in the list is entered into the loop. I'm calculating the distance from that object to the new object which is created with only two fields, and whatever distance I got, I am fixing that distance to the object, and finally I am returning the list. So whatever list is returned, that is in SA. Now I should So now I am having a list called SA, which is having all the objects with 4 field values: weight, color, label, and distance from sample. So now KNN works like, if I am going to like label the case, if I am going to label K, then I need to find the distance from, I need to find the distance of the 3 points which is very close to K, and whatever the label of like 3 points is same, then I'm going to fix this K label as the same label. If the 3 point label is apple, then apple is the K label. If 3 points label is banana, then K's label is banana. So now I am having the list with 4 fields, and I need to sort only the distance. So if I'm going to sort the distance field of each and every object, I need to use some interface implemented. Why? Because if I'm going to sort only, like, if I'm having a list of integers, then I can able to sort it like without implementing any interfaces. If I am going to sort some strings, a list of strings I can do, but it is having a list of objects, and each and every object are having 4 fields, so I can't able to find on what basis I'm going to sort. So I need to specify that I'm going to sort it on basis of distance. How I'm going to do that means, I'm going to fruits one class, and in the top it is implementing comparable interface of generics fruits one. After implementing this, I'm going to get a method called compare to. It is in this method I am going to like sort the each and every object like based on distance. So this method is going to return me a sorted list on basis of distance. So once the list is sorted on basis of distance, I'm going to print the first 3 values. So after printing, I can find that the distance are in the sorted way 18, 23, and 26, and I can also find the label are of same type. So all are of apple. So I can fix that the new point what I have created here, the object what I have created 400 comma 3 is having a label apple. If well, like first of all, if these labels are banana, I can able to say that this new object is of label banana. So here I am using KNN for finding the label of the new point by applying this distance formula and sorting the distance, and what all points are close to this point, this new point, are if they are of same breed, if they are of same type, then I am going to fix the case label as same. Like I got here apple, so I'm placing it as apple. That's all about KNN. Thank you.